Part 101. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1013. Time flies like running water, and hundreds of millions of years have passed in the blink of an eye. After 30 million years of rest and recuperation, the ancient land has finally regained some of its popularity and is no longer as lonely as it was after the Lich War. In the eastern sky, a large boat burst into the sky. This is a large boat with a pointed nose and wide tail, with a four-story building standing in the middle of the semicircular hull. Flags were fluttering on the big boat, and a large flag was erected at the top. Write a 3-character sacred text. Huangzi family. Under the flags, the mighty armored soldiers on the building were heavily guarded, guarding the 3 men in the middle. The one in the middle was wearing yellow linen clothes, with a jade belt around his waist, and a gold rope around his head. His long hair hung down behind his head, and his calm face showed an unimaginable royal demeanor. The one on the right is wearing a navy blue robe, a gold rope girdle, holding a bamboo stick, and has an elegant temperament. Both are middle-aged men with beards. The one on the left is a young man wearing linen clothes, holding a sword in his hand, and has a heroic aura. "Yuan Xing, is there a huge sea in front of us?" the man in yellow asked. Looking at the vast expanse of water ahead, the man in green robe nodded. This sea was formed 30 million years ago. It is said that the Holy Master Chongshan adjusted the mountains and rivers and planned the scattered water vapor after the Buzhu mountain rupture, allowing the Buzhu water to roll eastward, forming this inland sea that stretches across the northeast and is 3 trillion miles wide. But in Buzhu, people don't call it Big Sea, but Big Lake. Big Lake. Bai Yuan Xing nodded. Master Bai, is Saint Master Chongshan really knowledgeable about everything in the world, as you said? The young man asked. I don't know if he knows everything about the world. But if there were no Saint Master to rescue our race in times of crisis and teach us, the Buzhu mountain race would never be as victorious as it is today. Then have you met the Holy Master? Bai Yuan Xing had a look of regret on his face. Although I was able to enter the Buzhu Mountain Main Academy to practice, I had no choice but to have poor qualifications. I had practiced hard for 100,000 years, and I had no chance to enter Deluo. I never entered the inner courtyard to practice, so I never met the Holy Master in person. After coming down from the mountain, I traveled all the way, and after 360,000 years of cold and heat, I entered the Deluo secret realm. Although I reported to the sect, I have been in Huangqiu and have never returned to Buzhu Mountain. Deluo is a supreme secret realm. It is so high and noble that it cannot be peeked into for 100,000 years. Isn't it normal? The young man said in surprise. Bai Yuan Xing smiled. In Chongshan General Academy, those with excellent qualifications can advance to Deluo in 10,000 years. 10,000 years. The young man opened his mouth in surprise. When I was studying in the main academy, the fastest person to break through to the Deluo realm was Bai Qingyun, the 21st generation chief disciple. It only took 5,500 years to break through to the Deluo celestial immortal. 5,500 years. The young man's face was filled with disbelief. After nodding with a smile, he said with emotion, "The world is so big and there are so many talented people. Especially in Chongshan General Academy, no matter how strong you are, there will always be someone better than you. Even if you are the first among your peers, if you slack off a little, you will be surpassed by those who come after." Shaking his head, the image of studying hard at the main hospital came to mind. In that kind of environment where you are chasing after each other, everyone is practicing hard, supervising each other, influencing each other, and progressing rapidly. After leaving that kind of environment, he never experienced the feeling of his cultivation improving every year. Yuan Xing, is this Bai Qingyun a member of your clan? Bai Yuan Xing nodded. Her original name is Baiun. She comes from an ordinary family, but her qualifications are really outstanding. Since she entered school, she has broken the advancement records of Chongshan Lower Court, Middle Court, Upper Court, and Main Court. Now that a million years have passed, she should advance to Deluo Xianxian, even Deluo Jingxian. Thinking of that beautiful girl in a white dress with a gentle temperament, Bai Yuanxing's eyes became sad. It seems that the teacher also longs for this white fairy. The young man looked narrow-minded. She glanced at him with a smile and did not deny it. Back then, my senior sister was beautiful, graceful, and gentle. She charmed thousands of classmates as soon as she entered the upper house. Later, many former senior brothers came to express their admiration. However, my senior sister has a firm heart. And she is dedicated to making progress. Because of this, she can always outperform her peers and make rapid progress. Yuan Xing, when we go to Chongshan this time, can we ask the Holy Master to send Chongshan disciples to cross the huge sea and enter the eastern wasteland to help the human race and promote enlightenment? Asked the middle-aged man in yellow robe. It's probably difficult. Why? When I graduated from the main academy, the Academic Affairs Office specifically stated that disciples of Chongshan can travel to the Eastern Baron to help the Eastern Baron people overcome difficulties, but they are not allowed to spread the Chongshan system outside Buzhu Mountain. Anyone who violates this will be expelled from the school. You will never enter Mount Buzhu again. Why is this so? The young man asked first. Some disciples also asked this at that time. The Academic Affairs Office replied that this is the instruction of the Holy Master. The Eastern Baron human race is the main branch of the human race. It will uphold the great destiny of the human race and have its own path in the future. If it interferes and disturbs the heavenly plan, it will be unsightly. If the Eastern Baron people encounter a disaster, Chongshan will not stand idly by. Protect, but not interfere, the middle-aged man in yellow robe said slowly. Exactly. Suddenly, the boat stopped. Yuan Xing, why did you stop? The entire Buzhu mountain area is enveloped by the tyrannical formation set up by the Holy Master. Unless led by Chongshan disciples, once outsiders break in, they will be regarded as an invasion and will be instantly suppressed by the formation. The middle-aged man in yellow robe had divine lines flashing in his eyes, and after a moment. This formation is really powerful. If it is activated, even the Hunyuan celestial immortal can suppress it. Is it that strong? The young man looked surprised. The Hunyuan realm is a legendary existence. However, he would not doubt his father's words. Since his father obtained the Hichu Luasha from the Yellow River tens of thousands of years ago, his cultivation has improved rapidly, especially his formation cultivation has improved rapidly. Bai Yuan Xing was also a little surprised. He didn't practice formations, so he couldn't see how powerful this formation was. Moreover, from the time it was deployed until now, this world-protecting formation has never been fully activated. Therefore, except for a few people, no one knows how strong it is. With a thought in his heart, a large cauldron with 4 legs, straight walls and 2 ears, and a light golden body, slowly flew out from the dantian. Buzhuding is the spiritual treasure of Chongshan Academy. It has the magical effect of calming the mind, eliminating evil thoughts, and protecting the soul. What kind of treasure is this with such strong human merit? Fuxi saw it and secretly guessed in his heart. Bulletin Zhou flew forward, and about 100 feet behind him, a shield appeared invisibly that cut off the upper and lower sides in the huge sea. As soon as Zhou touched it, a big hole slowly opened in the shield. Bai Yuan Xing urged the boat and slowly flew in. Fuxi sensed for a moment that although the spiritual energy here was richer than outside, it was also limited. Holy King, after passing here and crossing the big lake, you will find my Bai family's Tulai town, a big town that grew up because of fishing. Yuan Xing, when we are about to dock, how about we go on a land trip instead of taking a big boat? Let me see the customs under Chongshan. Of course you can, but you must report it to the academy. In addition, the Holy King's status is special and cannot be taken lightly. Fuxi thought for a while and nodded. He also wanted to see how the people of Chongshan treated him. Living in Chongshan, on the immortal island of creation, Su Junming sat cross-legged. In front of him was a gourd vine about 3 feet high, growing around the rocks. The green gourd vine is about the thickness of a thumb, with palm-sized green leaves, blooming with amazing life potential. As the branches and leaves trembled, strands of acquired chaotic spiritual energy were pulled from the void, absorbed and refined. It highlights the faint innate aura of Taoism. A powerful force of swallowing flew out of Su Junming's nose, enveloped the innate spiritual energy, and quickly swallowed it into his belly. Every time he absorbs a part of spiritual energy, the aura on his body will increase a little bit. Although it is not obvious, it is indeed improving steadily. Call. A breath of turbid air rushed out more than 10 feet away before slowly dissipating. Slowly opening his eyes, his calm eyes were as deep as an abyss. Feel the chi and blood surging in the body, and the mana filling the danshan. 30 million years later, with the help of the space god sect, he had reached the late stage of Deluo Jingxian. However, after advancing to the later stages, practice becomes slower and slower. In particular, he is a dual practitioner of both martial arts and Taoism. It is estimated that it will take twice as long, or even longer, to reach the perfection of Deluo Jingxian. As for Hunyuan, that is another concept. But that guy should be almost done. With one step, his figure instantly appeared in a deep blue ocean. A huge two-headed black turtle was sleeping soundly in the middle of the ocean, snoring loudly. It can be seen that the hollow willow has grown a lot in the past 30 million years. The two-headed black turtle that once occupied 3/4 of Yangliu's space now only occupies half of the entire space. This guy is incredibly lazy. With a finger, the bronze bell reappeared. Boom! The bell that penetrated directly into the soul instantly awakened the sleeping turtle. The giant eyes that were as big as a planet opened instantly. Ouch! The earth-shattering dragon roar rose into the sky. The huge ocean sets off endless waves that last forever. My dear, you disturbed my sweet dream again. The voice of complaint went straight into Su Junming's heart. It's time for you to overcome the tribulation. Overcoming the tribulation? Overcoming what tribulation? Tiangong, who had just woken up, was still a little confused. Rolling his eyes, Su Junming, who had long been accustomed to his state, didn't bother to scold him. Of course Deluo has advanced to Hunyuan. Do you plan to stay in Deluo perfection for the rest of your life? Well. The mountain-like claws scratched the left side of his head. If you don't tell me, I'll give it a try. In 30 million years, he has understood the Tao of creation and reached the realm of Hunyuan. Needless to say, Tiangong Dao. The cultivation level of the soul has also caught up, and it is indeed time to overcome the tribulation. Hurry up. I know, don't rush me, at least let me prepare. As he spoke, a powerful force of magic shot up into the sky. In an instant, the billowing clouds of heavenly calamity were as fast as a galloping horse, galloping from the underworld. Thick lead clouds span 30 billion miles. Powerful thunder and lightning, like dragons and snakes, filled every inch of the clouds. The powerful power of God made Su Junming, who was hundreds of millions of miles away, feel strong pressure. Thanks to book friend clan / memory for the 500 starting coin reward. Thank you very much. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1014. Although it was the first time for him to see the heavenly tribulation when Deluo advanced to Hunyuan, he had read about it many times in books, most of which covered hundreds of millions of miles. Those who can reach billions of miles are those with extraordinary talents. The pressure is 30 billion miles away, and I have never heard of it. This intensity was too exaggerated, completely beyond his imagination. At this level, the number of Hunyuan monks in the prehistoric era would be reduced by more than half. Boom! After the accumulation reached its peak, the first thunderbolt struck down. In an instant, the sky and the earth turned lavender. The thunder of millions of feet is extremely powerful. If an ordinary Dalogojinxian encounters such a collision, even if he doesn't die directly, it won't be much different. But when such a thunderbolt fell on the huge two-headed black turtle, it was like a toothpick hitting a person. There is no way to break through the tortoise shell's tyrannical defense. Speaking of which, Tiangong may be the easiest monk to advance to Hunyuan in the entire prehistoric era. His physical body was directly inherited from the chaos gods and demons. Although it was badly damaged at the beginning, most of it had been repaired after Su Junming used a large amount of Taoist's fundamental energy. Over the next 30 million years, the damage to the outside was basically repaired. Although it is still far from its peak. But the physical body inherited from the chaos gods and demons has a very strong foundation. Especially that set of extremely strong tortoise shells. In the entire prehistoric period, apart from Hung Jun, who could use the power of heaven, and Yuan Shi Tianzun, who mastered the powerful weapon of Pangu Banner, it is estimated that few people could break through it. With such protection, thunder tribulation is almost like scratching an itch. The key is the soul. Tiangong is Su Junming's seven-spirited Taoist body. When he was first born, it was just Dalogo Xianxian who was perfect. Now, 30 million years later, the cultivation of the Yuan Shen has finally reached the perfection of Dalogo Jingxian. Of course, we must survive the final tribulation of Dalogo and advance to Hunyuan. Therefore, compared to the 99 and 81 thunder tribulations, the inner demon catastrophe targeting the soul is even more noteworthy. Boom! Light purple thunder struck down. 1 million feet, 3 million feet, 5 million feet, 10 million feet. By the time the heavenly tribulation entered the 70th path, the diameter of the thunder tribulation had already reached 100 million feet. The mighty thunder light, like the water of the Milky Way, instantly penetrated the sky and the earth. The mighty divine power made Su Junming feel a little numb when he saw it. But such thunder is in front of the huge and sturdy turtle shell of Tiangong's body, the two-headed black turtle, which is 300 trillion thick and 40 trillion miles long. At best, it's an enlarged toothpick. Still no different than scratching an itch. Even the 81 tribulation thunders with a diameter of 900 million feet still pose no threat. Although the heavenly tribulation will appropriately increase the power of the heavenly tribulation based on the cultivation level of the person who overcomes it. But in the end, it is just Dalogo monks who are overcoming tribulations and cannot produce Hunyuan level thunder. That's not overcoming the tribulation, that's killing in shock. The exploding thunder passed by, but Tiangong's huge body remained motionless. An overwhelming black mist submerged into the tortoise shell. The soul of Tiangong is not in the two heads, but in the life orifice at the core of the body. The inner demon tribulation has begun. Su Junming took a breath. Although Tiangong has the projection of the Dian mirror to help suppress the inner demons, the catastrophe just now was too strong for a Dalogo Jingxian. The corresponding inner demon tribulation will also be stronger. Tiangong can rely on his powerful physical body to resist the heavenly tribulation, but the inner demon tribulation directly targets the soul. Without strong concentration, it is difficult to resist. This is also the reason why many monks rarely look for a strong physical body even though they know that a strong physical body is beneficial to overcoming tribulations. If your character is not strong enough, you will not be able to survive the thunder tribulation, but you will not be able to survive the heavenly tribulation. And not everyone is like Su Junming, who can use a large amount of the fundamental energy of creation to bridge the gap between the soul and the physical body. Don't sleep with this guy directly. Although there was a projection from the Dian mirror, Su Junming was still very uneasy. Tiangong's weakness is too obvious. Lazy, lethargic. The inner demon is a test that specifically targets weaknesses. It will definitely create a very comfortable sleeping environment for Tiangong, and it will be his favorite sleeping environment. Maybe even throw a few sleepyheads at him. About a quarter of an hour passed. The black calamity turbulent in the air trembled slightly and slowly turned towards milky white. Seeing this, Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief. It's finally over. The thought just fell. The huge turtle eyes opened, and the powerful light was like the scorching sun in the sky, extremely dazzling. Call. Rolling spiritual energy of creation descended from the sky. Tiangong's aura quickly rose. Powerful mana flows through the thick meridians, and the billowing blood becomes more and more powerful. Gradually, 1 drop, 2 drops. 6 drops of new blood essence were born in the heart, which was thousands of times larger than the entire world. Counting the previous 3 drops, it has reached 9 drops. Although it is only half of the black turtle's peak, it is still a huge improvement. Mountains of tyrannical magic power stirred up huge waves. Su Junming watched Tiangong's mana rise rapidly, reaching a level he could not imagine. Licking his slightly dry lips, his eyes showed deep yearning. The mana has increased too much, almost 10,000 times. If he had such strong magic power, how could he be afraid of Ran Deng Taoist when he was in Buzhu Mountain? Ha ha ha. The loud laughter shook the entire space, soaked with intense joy. Boom. Water splashed everywhere. The huge two-headed black turtle slowly floated up from the water that was hundreds of millions of feet deep. Seeing this, Su Junming was shocked. Obviously, after advancing to Hunyuan, Tiangong's control over the physical body has directly climbed to a higher level. The thick and long tail at the back was like an ancient giant mountain, falling down with a crash. For a moment, billions of tons of seawater exploded from the middle. The powerful power caused the entire space to vibrate violently. Old Chi, are you going to destroy this place? Don't stop yet. Su Junming's scolding made Tiangong recover from his joy. Seeing the boss's stinky face, Taoist Tiangong had a clever idea in his mind and said sarcastically. Hey, don't be angry, I'm just happy for a moment, happy for a moment. This is your first offense, so I won't do it again. Yes, it won't happen again. Hunyuan, how do you feel? The happy expression appeared on Taoist Tiangong's face again. Although it's not as easy to use as an arm, I can basically use it freely. And during operation, the previous heavy feeling disappeared, and both the head and the palms are smooth. Can you transform? Su Junming nodded and asked. Not yet. I guess it won't be possible until I fully control this body. This sky-supporting black turtle was at its peak in the late Hunyuan period, and its physical body was even stronger. I don't know how much time it will take to return to such a state. But fortunately, Chongshan finally has the power of Hunyuan to suppress the battle. The sense of danger in my heart, which was like walking on thin ice, finally dissipated a lot. Looking at the excited Tiangong Taoist. Without disturbing him again, a movement occurred in his heart, and the hollow willow appeared. Come outside, sit down next to the innate gourd vine again. This top-notch innate spiritual root that he personally nurtured was in harmony with his aura and mana. Although it was not a natal spiritual treasure, it was not much different. Therefore, the Taishu innate spiritual energy transformed from the innate gourd vine is just right for him to absorb and refine. Too much is a waste, too little is not enough. This is an innate spiritual root that can grow with him. Just when he was about to practice, he frowned slightly. With a tap of the storage gourd on his waist, a copper bell flew out. He simply made a seal, and a respectful voice came from it. Zhang Shan, what's going on? Fuxi, the co-leader of the Eastern Wasteland human tribe, is here. Fuxi. Su Junming raised his eyebrows, but was not surprised. Although he set up a large formation to protect the Buzhu mountain area, it was impossible to completely isolate the inside and outside, and he did not want to completely isolate it. As the co-leader of Fuxi Donghuang human race, sooner or later he will know the news about Buzhu Mountain human race. But as his co-owner, he came to the door in person, which was a bit beyond his expectation. How many people came? In addition to Fu 11 himself, there are also his eldest son Tai Hao, and our 23rd generation disciple of Chongshan Academy, Bai Yuanxing, who was born in the Bai family. Within Chongshan Academy, a generation and a generation of disciples are two different concepts. Within 10,000 years, only one disciple can be promoted to the main academy to practice with the cultivation level of Tai Celestial Immortal. The one who can break through to Luo within a million years is the generation. From the establishment of Chongshan Academy to the present, there have been 30 generations and nearly 20,000 disciples. Especially as the number of people in Buzhu Mountain continues to grow, the number of disciples who become Deluo every 10,000 years is also gradually increasing. Especially in the 30th generation, 896 Deluo appeared in 1 million years. Moreover, after 30 million years, Su Junming is no longer the only Deluo Jingxian in Chongshan. And my Chongshan disciples? Yes. What cultivation level? The middle stage of Deluo True Immortal. Being able to gain Fuxi's trust, it seems that his status in Wankaiu is not low. Bai Yuanxing serves as a Kairen in Wankaiu. Kairen, Su Junming said in surprise. Kairen is a close official of the king. He is mainly responsible for issuing the king's orders and announcing government decrees. He is also responsible for soliciting opinions and conveying sentiments to superiors. Su Jun understood clearly. Kairen was equivalent to the Hanlin who would accompany the emperors of later dynasties. Their status was neither high nor low, but they had great power. It is often called the inner phase. So, the official system has appeared in Wankaiu. Yes. Fuxi governs everything with 3 uprights and 6 things. Sheheng is in charge of prisons and war, Muzheng is in charge of money, food, and work, and Bozheng is in charge of the appointment and dismissal of officials and sacrifices. Fangfeng Zangshan briefly explained the 6 things. It can be seen that Fuxi's official system is still very primitive. Compared with the complicated official system in Chongshan, it is much simpler. Since Fuxi is coming in person, go and greet him for me. Don't be lazy. Disciple, obey. But Fuxi hopes to travel within my Buzhu Mountain territory. Yes. But you cannot enter Chongshan Academy. In the entire Buzhu Mountain area, trillions of people are managed by a huge and sophisticated system. No one can understand the complete appearance of this system unless it is fully cultivated by Chongshan Academy. Copying will only create unnecessary confusion. So he didn't have to worry about Fuxi's travels. As for the puppets and mechanical instruments that improve production efficiency, he has not popularized them here. The living and production standards in the entire Buzhu Mountain area are no different from those in ancient China. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1015. Outside Dulai town, Fuxi, Bai Yuanxing, and Tai Hao were resting in a pavilion. Not long after, a ray of light came at lightning speed. Coming. The 3 of them were shocked and quickly stood up. The light suddenly stopped, and a big man wearing linen clothes, nearly 10 feet tall, with an extremely majestic physique, a rough face but a deep gaze appeared in front of everyone. The aura of Yuan Ting and Yuji, as well as the restrained and domineering aura, revealed the extraordinary nature of the person in front of him. Bai Yuanxing quickly stepped forward and bowed to salute. Bai Yuanxing, the 23rd generation disciple of Chongshan, pays homage to the deacon of Zangshan. Since the establishment of Chongshan Academy, 7 deacons have been in charge of the general affairs of the academy. 30 million years down the line. Of the 7 deacons at the beginning, 2 fell to the calamity. The remaining 5 were promoted from De Luo Tianxian to De Luo Jingxian. Fang Feng Zangshan is one of them. After waving to indicate that he didn't have to be polite, he looked directly at the middle-aged man in the middle who was wearing yellow linen and had a noble temperament. Give a fist salute. Fang Feng Zangshan, I have met the emperor's family. Although Fuxi has not yet been crowned emperor, he has obtained the Hichu Luoshu, and after breaking through the great Luo Jingxian, he will almost certainly become the emperor of the human race. Calling it this way in advance has an element of compliment. Fuxi has met Deacon Fang Feng. Although I don't understand this person's status in Chongshan, the cultivation level of the other party in the middle stage of De Luo Jingxian has already explained a lot of problems. You're welcome. Teacher asked me to take the emperor to watch as he pleased in Chongshan Mountain. Finally, he will wait for your arrival at Buzhu Mountain. Then I'll have to trouble the Wind Deacon. Fang Feng Zangshan smiled and nodded. Please. Please. The 2 walked in front, Tai Hao and Bai Yuanxing followed, and the group of 4 walked towards the west. Not long after leaving Dulai town, a golden patch appeared in the distance. Before he even got close, a light and elegant fragrance filled his lungs. Fuxi stopped instantly. Observe carefully, you can see that this is a kind of spiritual root that is 3 feet tall, with wide leaves and 3 feet long tassels. Although the level of this spiritual root was not high, it was the first time he had seen such a large area of spiritual roots. Fang Feng Deacon, what is this? This is Huangliang Lingmai. But it's something to satisfy your hunger. Exactly. Fuxi's eyes lit up instantly. There is also cultivation within the Huaxu clan, but it is not systematic and they still rely on hunting and gathering to survive. Can I have a taste of this yellow rice? The Holy Emperor wants to taste it, of course there is no problem. However, these yellow millet rice here belong to the owner. It is not too late for us to enjoy it at the restaurant in the county town ahead. At the command of the windbreaker. Please. Fuxi followed, looking at the surrounding yellow rice. The neat appearance shows that there are strict rules when planting. There are sparse weeds in the fields, and it would never have reached this level if it had not been specially cleaned. This is a field that is constantly tended. The implication behind this is that the Buzhu Mountain people have given up their lifestyle of mainly fishing and hunting, and have turned to farming. Compared with fishing and hunting, farming is less dangerous and the harvest is relatively stable. This stability can lead to rapid population growth. Under the leadership of Fang Feng Zangshan, not long after, a 90-mile square city appeared in front of them. Building a strong city to resist enemies or wild beasts is almost a gene engraved in the bones of the human race. Although Su Junming did not emphasize it, the tribes of the Buzhu Mountain human race still built tall and solid cities in every human race gathering place. Fuxi took a brief look and saw from the dress and expressions of the people entering and exiting the city that they lived a prosperous life. Moreover, what he expected was that everyone had some level of cultivation, just not very high. Compared with the tribesmen of Huaxu clan, they are much weaker. Did you slack off on your cultivation because of your comfortable life? Fuxi thought to himself. Entering the county town, everything around him seemed ancient to Su Junming, who had experienced modern life, and was equivalent to the Qin and Han dynasties. But for Fuxi, who was accustomed to tribal life, it revealed an indescribable advanced nature. In fact, although the current human race has a tribal system, it does not mean that they are primitive. After all, the human race has developed for hundreds of millions of years in ancient times and has established a civilization. Although all of them were later destroyed by the demon clan, some remained to some extent. This is also the reason why Fuxi was able to establish the 3 righteousnesses and 6 things official system. The house is much more exquisite than Huaxu's. The 4 of them randomly found a restaurant and walked in. Since it wasn't a meal, there weren't many diners around. After casually ordering some food, Fang Feng Zangshan made a secret to isolate the inside and outside. Holy Emperor, please. After nodding slightly, he looked at the slightly yellow and fragrant food in the bowl. Is this Huangliang Lingmai? Yes, just boil it with water and fire for a quarter of an hour, Fang Feng Zangshan said with a smile. Back then, before he started practicing with his teacher, his family also grew yellow rice. So, familiar with it? Fuxi picked up the chopsticks and quickly learned how to use them. This product is very good. It can prevent the entry of immune diseases. The Holy Emperor is indeed extraordinary. He can see through the beauty of this thing at a glance, Fang Feng Zangshan praised. After smiling calmly, he picked up a chopstick and put it into his mouth. After chewing it for a while, he nodded. Sweet and delicious, not bad. Tai Hao also took a bite, without much joy on his face. Also, with his status, there is no shortage of treasures around him. Huangliang Lingmai is a good thing for ordinary people, but for people who have already achieved cultivation, the spiritual energy in it is too dull. But the other dishes on the table tasted pretty good. Deacon Feng Feng, I wonder what the yield of this product is. As the Holy Emperor of the human race, Fuxi manages countless large and small tribes including the Huaxi clan. The taste is secondary, the key is the output. Only with high yield can we feed people. With more people, more talents will be produced, the tribe will grow stronger, and the human race will grow stronger. 1 acre of farmland can produce 9 stones a year. It has to be said that the spiritual energy of the prehistoric era is rich, and the production of yellow rice has increased sharply. Even if the Buzhu Mountain people are all pot-bellied men who practice martial arts, they can still eat enough. 1 acre? 9 stones. Fuxi was confused. The Huaxi family still mainly fished and hunted, supplemented by gathering, and added a small amount of planting. Naturally, there was no such unit of measurement from later generations. 300 steps for an adult is about 1 acre. Stone's words. Fang Feng Zangshan pointed at the bowl in Fuxi's hand. This bowl is about 1 caddy, 10 caddies is 1 do, 10 do is 1 hu, and 10 hu is 1 stone. In this way, 1 stone is worth 1,000 caddies. Of course. Fuxi looked at the porcelain bowl on the table, which was 1 foot wide and half a hand high. He was shocked by it. This bowl of yellow rice is only half full, but it is enough for a strong man who has never practiced cultivation. Calculated according to the most common Huaxi family of 5 kilograms a day is enough, and no more will exceed 10 kilograms. Even if it is calculated based on 10 kilograms, it is less than 4,000 kilograms in a year. But 300 steps of land can produce 9,000 caddies a year. No wonder this place is so rich, it turns out there are such magical things. Fuxi was excited. I can't wait to introduce this yellow rice to the Huaxi family. Deacon Fang Feng, can I take this thing back to the Huaxi family? Tai Hao also opened his eyes wide at this moment. He managed the tribe with his father. Of course he knew what it meant to produce 1 stone from 300 acres of land in 1 year. Seeing the two people's eyes, Fang Feng Zangshan smiled. This thing was taught by the teacher himself. If the Holy Emperor wants to bring back the Fang Feng clan, he needs the teacher's permission. Fuxi stood up. I'm going to see the Holy Master now. The Holy Emperor will not continue traveling. This thing is a sacred thing to my human race. If I can't get it, I won't have the time to travel. Fuxi shook his head. Fang Feng Zangshan nodded. This food can't be wasted. I'll go after eating it. Fuxi didn't refuse either. The 4 of them finished their meal and went downstairs to pay. A total of 9 yellow bud pills. Fuxi also felt strange when he saw Fang Feng Zangshan paying the bill with elixirs. But at the moment, his mind was full of Huangliang Lingmai, so he didn't delve into it. This is the edge of Buzhu Mountain area. The straight line distance from here to Buzhu Mountain exceeds 1 million trillion miles. If the light is activated to fly there, even if the four of them are Deluo realm beings, it will take hundreds of years. This is too long. Fortunately, because Su Junming is proficient in Huishan Dao, teleportation arrays exist in every county in the entire Buzhu Mountain area. However, the teleportation array in the county cannot teleport directly to Buzhu Mountain. You must first go to the county or provincial capital. With Fang Feng Zangshan leading the way, the four of them had a smooth journey. The next moment, in the center of Buzhu Mountain's huge teleportation array, the figures of four people emerged from the rich spiritual light. Deacon Fang Feng, does your sect completely rely on teleportation arrays to connect various departments? No. Fang Feng Zangshan shook his head. It takes a lot of spiritual energy to open the teleportation array. Over time, the huge amount of spiritual energy washes away, and the materials used in the array are easily worn out and need to be maintained and replaced in time. The cost is extremely high. Unless you encounter, we rarely use it for big things. After Fuxi nodded, he paid attention secretly. Although the teleportation array is expensive, the instantaneous speed is really convenient. If it can be placed in the tribal alliance under the Huaxi family, then Wan Kai's rule will be countless times stronger. Please come with me. Under the leadership of Fang Feng Zangshan, the four people activated the escape light and went straight into the Chongshan Hall at the core of Buzhu Mountain. This Chongshan Hall is not the Chongshan Hall in Buzhu Cave Heaven. The latter is a gathering place for Chongshan disciples. This is the place where foreign guests are entertained. Fuxi was not moved at all by the majestic and magnificent hall. The splendor and luxury of the demon clan's Lingxiao Palace back then was 100 times that of this place. Looking around, at the end of the main hall, a divine pattern with the word Tao in the form of flying dragons and phoenixes came into view. Under the divine pattern of words, there is a green cloth futon. Sitting cross-legged on the futon was a young Taoist wearing linen clothes with a green gourd hanging around his waist. His long hair hung down behind his head, his expression was calm and his eyes were slightly closed. As if aware of his gaze, the Taoist slowly opened his eyes. Two rays of light flashed away, and there was obvious scrutiny in the deep eyes. Thanks to the book friend Zhu Tiandao for the reward of 1,666 starting coins. Thanks to book friend Boring Zioxy for the 500 starting coin reward. Thanks to the book friend It's Hard to Meet Her Again When She's Drunk for the 100 starting coin reward. Thank you so much. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1016. Wearing a bright yellow robe, he is tall and tall, wearing straw shoes on his feet. His black hair hangs down behind his head. He has an ancient appearance and a graceful demeanor. Is this person the Emperor's Fuxi? Deluo Jingxian's cultivation in the middle stage was one level behind him. A bagua-shaped talisman in the Danshan exudes a strong array and Tao charm. Obviously, this is a formation talisman based on bagua. A simple tortoise shell and a smart dragon and horse, like two satellites, constantly rotating around the talisman. The strong innate Tao charm and powerful aura made Su Junming instantly understand their identities. Hichu Luoshu. It is no longer a counterfeit refined day after tomorrow, but the real treasure of the demon clan, left behind by Emperor Jun. Through the Dian Divine Mirror, one can clearly see the 48 innate spiritual prohibitions in the 2 spiritual treasures. There is no doubt that this is the top innate spiritual treasure. Except for the Tai Chi diagram, the Kinkan cauldron, the Chaos clock, and the Dian Divine Mirror, he has never seen any treasure that can surpass Hichu Luoshu. With a thought in his heart, his body floated up, slowly landed, and he greeted him with a smile. It is a great honor for our Chongshan family to have the visit of Holy Emperor Fuxi. You are so polite, fellow Taoist. I wish I could have come to visit earlier, but things are complicated and it has been difficult to get away from it. When I came here today, I realized that our human race actually has great talents like fellow Taoist, and there is a rich and prosperous place like Chongshan. The Holy Emperor's reward, please. Please. After everyone took their seats. Bai Yuan seeing. Hearing the voice, he quickly stood up and came to the center with an expression of great reverence. Please ask the Holy Master for instructions. For many years, you have stayed with Holy Emperor Fuxi to assist you, and you have done your best and made great contributions. I have 9 Deluo 5 yellow pills here to reward you. Bai Yuan seeing looked excited as he looked at the cyan porcelain bottle that slowly flew in front of him. He had heard about the reputation of Deluo Wuhuang pill for a long time, but unfortunately he was always away from home and never enjoyed it. I originally planned to use this time to come back and buy a few pills from the main hospital market, but before I could do it, the Holy Master gave me a commendation. Raise your hands above your head, holding the porcelain bottle. Disciple, thank you Holy Master for the treasure. After smiling and nodding. Now that you have entered Deluo, there is no need to call me Holy Master. Bai Yuan seeing was stunned. Disciple pays homage to the Master. In Chongshan Academy, only those disciples who have achieved Deluo are officially admitted. Otherwise, they can only be considered as outer disciples. Hidden Mountain. Teacher. Fang Feng Zangshan responded respectfully. Bai Yuan seeing hasn't paid homage to the ancestor yet and entered him into the sex roster. You can take him there. Yes. Bai Yuan seeing, who had been looking forward to this day for a long time, bowed respectfully to Su Junming and Fuxi before leaving the hall with Fang Feng Zangshan. The Patriarch Hall of Chongshan is not here, but at the central peak, one of the 7 mysterious peaks in the Buzhu mountain cave. The disciples trained by fellow Taoists are all outstanding, and Yuan Xing is the best among them, Fuxi said. It's also his good luck. The Holy Emperor favored him and cultivated him. If not, he might not be where he is today. The two briefly complimented each other, and Fuxi pondered for a moment. I don't know if I should ask a question or not. Holy Emperor, feel free to speak out. The Chongshan lineage is so rich and has many systems and treasures that are ahead of other tribes. Why not pass them on to the entire human race? Pandeo is a Suanman monk and has no intention of becoming the 3 emperors of the human race. It is also a coincidence that the branch of Chongshan was passed down. The main branch of the Eastern Barren human race has its own path, and Pandeo has no intention of disturbing the heavenly secrets and interfering. Su Junming didn't make any pretense, he was straightforward and expressed his true intention. Fuxi's eyes flashed, and he felt a little surprised. He didn't expect the other party to say it so directly. But it's normal to think about it. The 3 emperors of the human race have long been booked. If you don't have a strong background, even if you accumulate a lot of merit, you will die from various accidents. But this kind of thing is only known to a few saints and a few top Hunyuan experts. How did he know? Judging from his cultivation level, he is no more than a Deluo Jinxian. It seems that there is another expert behind him. It is really admirable that my fellow Taoist has a pure heart and few desires. He will surely achieve great achievements on the road in the future. The Holy Emperor's wonderful praise. After pondering for a while, Fuxi continued, fellow Taoist, nowadays the people of the Eastern Barren still mainly focus on fishing and hunting, and their survival is difficult. Every time there is a natural disaster, many people die from freezing and starvation. Under the high mountains, there are yellow beams given by the Taoist friends. With spiritual rice, you can harvest 9 stones in 300 steps, which is considered a sacred item to ordinary people. Fuxi implores fellow Taoists, for the sake of the fact that the Donghuang people and the Buzaoshan people belong to the same lineage, teach the yellow Liang Lingmai to the Donghuang to save the Donghuang people from starvation. Hundreds of millions of people up and down the Donghuang, I must be grateful to my fellow Taoist for his great virtue. Fuxi clasped his fists and saluted, speaking sincerely. Su Junming was not surprised by his request. Huangliang Lingmai was taught to the Buzhu mountain people as early as 30 million years ago. Over the past 30 million years, the number of human beings in Buzhu mountain has skyrocketed, and the number of monks has sprung up like mushrooms after a rain. Half of it is due to this thing. This is also the reason why Shen'an later became the emperor of the earth with the help of the colorful spiritual rice. Since the holy emperor asked for it, Huangliangling rice is all right. Thank you, fellow Taoist, Fuxi said excitedly. Su Junming smiled and nodded. There is no need to say thank you. Just as the holy emperor said, the Buzoutian human race is also part of the human race. As for his Huangliang Lingmai, will it delay the emperor of the earth's attainment of Shen'an status? He wasn't very worried. Shen'an made many achievements, including grains and medicine. Moreover, the three emperors of the human race already have masters, and their merits are not enough. Even if they rule the human race for a few more years, they will be enough. Introducing Huangliangling rice to the human race can also bring him great merits. It's an honor to meet the Holy Emperor today. Why don't you and I have a discussion, Su Junming said with a smile. His Tiangong Dao had already reached the perfection of Hunyuan Celestial Immortal, and after 30 million years of consolidation, he was only one chance away from breaking through. Now that Fuxi has awakened from his past life and regained his Taoism, Su Junming was moved in his heart and wanted to discuss Taoism with him. Since we are Taoist friends, I am asking for help. He also wanted to explore the conduct and details of this mysterious Lord Chongshan. After the two looked at each other, they took a breath and silently activated their magic power. The next moment, Ban Mu Qingyun emerged from 3 feet above the top door. Su Junming is still azure covered by clouds and fog, with dots of stars inside, like the starry sky in the universe, mysterious and mysterious. Fuxi Qingyun is in 8 colors, black, white, red, yellow, green, blue, purple and green. It is colorful and dazzling with billowing clouds. Observe with the Dian mirror. There are also 3 green lotuses in the Qingyun above Fuxi's head. Since the Taoist ancestor Xiao Palace preached, and after Taoism monks became immortals in the ancient times, the main manifestation of the Taoist fruit has been lotus. Fuxi was also a guest in Xiao Palace back then, and he was no exception. On the lotus in the middle, 8 waves of air surge up, carrying around 8-colored Taoist fruit, which floats and sinks. A guqin with a simple shape and 8 strings. This piano is not unfamiliar to him. During the battle between the Lich and the Lich, he got the demon corpse of Fuxi by chance, and it was this piano that he held in his arms. Because of the war, the Fuxi Qin was damaged, but it is now intact. Of course it has been repaired a long time ago. On the lotus on the left is the top-notch innate spiritual treasure Hichu that Su Junming had seen a long time ago, and on the right is Luoshu. After briefly feeling Su Junming's Qingyun, he was about to speak when suddenly the other party's Qingyun leaned directly towards him. Surprised by the other party's directness and asking for help, Fuxi hesitated but did not refuse. Qingyun is the manifestation of Dao fruit. If Guo can directly sense the other party's Dao fruit, it is far more direct than announcing it verbally. Simply put, when it comes to preaching, you can only listen to what the preacher is willing to say. When Qingyun is connected and Tao and fruit are connected, you can understand the truth you want to understand. The former is passive and the latter is active. In comparison, of course the latter is more beneficial to the ascetics. Huishan Taoism. Feeling the rhythm of time billowing from Su Junming's cloud, Fuxi was surprised and instantly became more energetic. The way of Huishan is really rare, and there are very few people who can achieve anything. It's too long ago from the beginning, and he hasn't been born yet, so I don't know. But in the ancient times, there was only one person who knew the way of Hu Tian. Yang Mei immortal in Penhu Cave in Fuyu Mountain. This person is known as the 5 ancient saints together with Master Hung Jun of Xiao Palace in Mount Yujing, Patriarch Kinkan of Kinkan Cave in Wuji Mountain, Rahu of Heavenly Demon Palace in Mount Sumi, and Taoist Master Xianyuan of Penglai Island in the East China Sea. In that era when tribes were the mainstay, with the Dragon Clan, Wind Clan, Kailan Clan, White Tiger Clan, Giant Spirit Clan, Human Race and other great clans competing for supremacy in the wilderness, the 5 of them were among the few strong men who could stand at the top of the wilderness without the support of their tribes. Later, at the end of the ancient times, before the war between all races, Immortal Yang Mei and Taoist Master Xianyuan were nowhere to be found. Master Hung Jun and Patriarch Kinkan fought against Rahu and beheaded him at the foot of Mount Sumeru. After this battle, there was no news from the ancestor of Kinkan. After hundreds of millions of years of seclusion, Master Hung Jun became the Hunyuan Golden Immortal. He preached in the Zixiao Palace of Yujing Mountain. He listened to 3,000 sermons and spread throughout the world. He was honored as the Taoist Patriarch. Memories about ancient times flashed through my mind quickly. He never expected that this true Lord of Chongshan, whom he had never heard of in ancient times, could actually understand the 12 supreme avenues that are also known as time, creation, cause and effect, etc. After taking a deep breath, clear away distracting thoughts, and carefully comprehend the vast and mysterious rhythm of space. It was a rare opportunity and he didn't want to let it go. Next to him, Fuxi's son Taihao, watching his father discussing Taoism with the true monarch of Chongshan, also let King Yun go and came closer. The way of Hushan. He glanced at Su Junming in shock, not daring to neglect, and quickly meditated on it. There are not many opportunities to comprehend the 12 paths. Su Junming doesn't care what the father and son think. Activate the Dian Divine Mirror to quickly understand the charm of Fuxi's formation. As the top powerhouse of the demon clan in the ancient times, Fuxi's cultivation reached the perfection of Hunyuan true immortal during his peak period. If it hadn't been for the Lich War later, there would be no hope of getting rid of his obsession and becoming a Hunyuan Xianxian. In fact, as the elder brother, his cultivation has always been better than that of his younger sister Nuwa. However, Nuwa's luck was better than his. With the help of her teacher Hung Jun's advice, she became a saint of heaven and her strength skyrocketed. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1017. Countless arrays of Dharma principles emerged from the bottom of my heart. In the Danshan, the Tiangong talisman shared with the Tiangong Taoist evolved rapidly, becoming more complex and mysterious. Although Formation Dao is only a branch of Tiangong Dao, it is closely related to sacrificial weapons, alchemy, puppets, etc. Once the formation path is broken through, the other paths will also advance. After 30 million years of enlightenment, the Tiangong Dao, which has reached the perfection of Hunyuan Celestial Immortal, finally ushered in the opportunity for a breakthrough. Inside the hollow willow, the 2-headed black turtle crawling in the infinite blue sea shook its body, and a powerful aura spread out. The surging blue waves rolled up huge waves. Roar. The crimson dragon head looked up to the sky and roared, and the vast sound waves vibrated for hundreds of millions of miles. A dark red 3-legged copper furnace appeared in mid-air. The powerful pressure, the billowing heat wave, and the infinite divine power. At the same time, Su Junming in the Chongshan Hall was surrounded by turbulent clouds, and bright golden flowers fell from the sky. Soon the entire Buzhu mountain was enveloped. This is Hunyuan golden flower. Fuxi was shocked. As a true immortal of Hunyuan, he is not unfamiliar with this situation at all. Often only when monks in the Hunyuan realm break through a major realm in their Taoism, such anomalies in the way of heaven will appear. Subconsciously absorb 1. My understanding improved instantly. Not only him, but all the disciples of Chongshan General Academy realized the benefits of this golden flower after absorbing it, and they all seized the opportunity to understand Xianming. The Tao and the Dharma are difficult to understand, and the realm is difficult to understand. Even if it is just a small opportunity, you cannot let it go. Fuxi looked at Su Junming, who had a mysterious aura, with a complicated expression. He practices the Tao of formation. If the opponent can break through when discussing Tao with him, it must be the Tao of the formation, not the Tao of Hushan. The advancement of the formation Dao to the true immortal Hunyuan means that the person in front of you has at least half the chance of advancing to the Hunyuan true immortal in the future. After breaking through the realm, Su Junming slowly took back King Yun. Stand up and salute. Thank you, Holy Emperor, for your help. This is what Taoist friends must do. I have learned a lot from this discussion of Taoism. Fuxi stood up and said. The two smiled at each other and sat down again. My fellow Taoist's understanding is so high that it's really amazing. He can comprehend the Hushan Dao and the Formation Dao at the same time to the Hunyuan realm. The two of them were connected by King Yun, and he could naturally clearly sense the Taoist realm of Su Junming Hutian Dao. Su Junming smiled when he heard this and didn't say much. In the past 30 million years, with the help of the Dian Divine Mirror, the Hollow Willow and the Huang Zhongli, the three most precious spiritual roots, I have simultaneously comprehended the two realms of time and space and reached the Hunyuan realm. Although it is only the first time, it is still Hunyuan. It's a pity that he spent so much time on these two paths that the sealed path was still at the peak of Deluo and had not reached Hunyuan. He looked deeply at Taoist Mai in front of him. I thought to myself. The ancient world is vast, and there are countless capable people and extraordinary people. But to be able to comprehend the two supreme avenues to the Hunyuan realm at the same time, in the entire ancient era, only the Sanking dynasty in Pangurelix could do it. In an instant, Su Junming's status in his heart increased countless times. Fellow Taoist, I have something to ask of you. I hope you can agree to it. Oh, I wonder what the Holy Emperor is talking about. I have 4 sons. The eldest son Taihao is a registered disciple of Taoist taking. The second son Qingqian is practicing under the Zhenyuan Immortal at Wuzhuang Temple in Wanchao Mountain in Zhuang. The 3 daughters, Xiaodian, are practicing in Wa Palace. Only the youngest daughter me, I'm still young and have never been a disciple. My little daughter is born as a god. I hope she can practice under the disciples of fellow Taoists. Su Junming was slightly startled, but he didn't expect that this was what Fuxi was talking about. Mi, also known as concubine Mi, was the daughter of Fuxi and was later named the goddess of Luo. An ode to the goddess of Luo written by Cao Ji of the Three Kingdoms made the beauty of this ancient goddess famous throughout the ages. The Holy Emperor's request should not be rejected. However, the teachers of the Holy Emperor's 3 sons are all Hunyuan powerful men. As a great Luo Jingxian, I really don't dare to reach for it. Moreover, the 4 daughters of the Holy Emperor are women, and they have to worship one. Wouldn't it be more suitable to be a female disciple? It's exactly what fellow Taoists said, it's me, Meng Lang. After just realizing the unlimited potential of this true Lord Chongshan, he subconsciously wanted to win over 1 or 2. Now that I think about it, it is indeed inappropriate. Potential is still potential, not strength. Moreover, my little daughter is gentle, beautiful, dignified, and generous, and is most valued by her younger sister. She often visits the Wa Palace and has a very high vision. If she were asked to join the sect of a Luo Jingxian, she might not be willing. Fellow Taoist, can I, a descendant of the Donghuang human race, go to Chongshan Academy to learn from my master? Although my daughter cannot become a disciple, I still have to win over her. As long as they can pass the entrance examination of Chongshan General Hospital, any human race can enter Chongshan to practice. However, Chongshan cultivation technique is the most important foundation. You need to enter the school at the age of 7. You cannot stop in the middle, otherwise all your previous efforts will be wasted. Fuxi's wisdom is profound. Sending the elites of the Eastern Barren human race to join Chongshan Academy will certainly improve the relationship between the two parties. In the future, when these disciples graduate, they will be able to pass on the foundation accumulated by Chongshan Academy over thousands of years back to the Eastern Wilderness and strengthen the Huaxu clan. It can be said that it kills two birds with one stone. However, Su Junming is not stupid either. A 7-year-old child's temperament is unstable. He has been cultivated within Chongshan Academy for thousands of years, even tens of thousands of years. It is self-evident who his heart will turn to in the end. As for the secret manipulation, haha, his soul path is one step away from breaking through Hunyuan. In the entire prehistoric period, I don't know if there is anyone who surpasses him in the soul path. Coupled with the Dian mirror, all secrets will be revealed. Okay, just follow what fellow Taoist said, Fuxi affirmed. Although he guessed Su Junming's plan, he was very confident in his own methods. Su Junming smiled and didn't say much. Fellow Taoist, I see that the planting of Huangliang Lingmai seems to imply a legal code. What the Holy Emperor said is true. If you want to grow yellow rice, you must have suitable land, and watering and fertilizing have certain amounts and times. If you don't understand these, it will be difficult to survive even if you have seeds. Fuxi paused and said, in that case, can you please Chongshan send a team of disciples to Huankaiu to teach the Eastern Barren people about cultivation? Don't worry, fellow Taoist, I will definitely entertain any Chongshan disciples who are willing to go, and I will never let them suffer any injustice. Su Junming thought about it for a moment and then nodded. With a flick of his finger, a burst of magic struck the golden bell hanging outside the hall. Not long after, a tall and thin middle-aged man wearing a blue robe flew in. Bow and salute. Disciple Shuezhangyang has met the teacher, and the teacher is safe. Shuezhangyang, a descendant of the Shui family of the Buzhu 18 divisions, was also one of the first disciples to follow Su Junming. Now he also has the cultivation level of the middle stage of Deluo Jingxian. Come and pay homage to Holy Emperor Fuxi. I have met His Majesty the Holy Emperor. This is my disciple Shuezhangyang. Fuxi nodded and said with a smile, fellow Taoist disciples are indeed talented people. Thank you Holy Emperor for the compliment. It's all due to my mentor's teachings. Haha, fellow Taoist Su, your disciple is really enviable. Su Junming smiled and nodded. Zhang Yang, I have promised to teach the method of planting Huangliang Lingmai to Dong Huang. You select 30 people from the inner disciples, and you will lead them to Dong Huang to teach the method of planting. Yes. Remember, don't be rude or cause trouble when you go out, otherwise I won't be lenient. The conversation changed. Of course, if there are people who are evil-minded, there is no need to be polite. Disciples must obey the teachings of their mentor. Fuxi narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the master and apprentice without saying anything else. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1019. Chongshan lives in a quiet room. Su Junming sat cross-legged. A large dark golden flag stood in front of him, making a steady sound in the absence of wind. On the thick banner, there is a human face and a tiger body, 2 wings on the back, snakes pierced through the ears, and a demon god riding on the legs of 2 dragons. The 4 arms hold swords, shields and spears respectively. It is majestic and domineering. Suddenly, Liao Shuo jumped down from the flag banner. The strong body exudes a strong sense of oppression. However, it can be seen that this powerful body is full of the decayed air that remains after a long period of time. Looking at the powerful demon in front of him, his heart moved. A round bronze mirror as clear as water slowly flew out from Baihui Point. It's time. The Danshan time talisman shines brightly, and billowing mana flows into the Dayan divine mirror. Return to our roots. A crystal-colored mirror light spanned 100 feet and fell on the demon god of prosperity. The tyrannical power of time blooms. This is a powerful force that can control the past and the future. Visible to the naked eye, the decaying energy in Liao Hua's body receded quickly, and the powerful energy and blood, like surging waves, quickly climbed upwards. The originally dull and dirty scales became brighter and brighter. The demon god of prosperity, who had already reached the perfection of Deluo Jinxian, was surging with energy and blood all over his body. Buzz. After an invisible tremor. It was as if the rolling waves had finally overcome the barrier of the dam, and the wind was surging and the current was turbulent. Nearly 1/3 of the rotten air in Ling Hui's body quickly dissipated, the dirty scales glowed brightly, and a solid Taoist charm spread out. Roar. Amidst the desolate and domineering and excited roar, the demon god of Lingxiao jumped down from the big banner. The body swelled. 2 million feet, 5 million feet, 10 million feet, 30 million feet. His strength has returned to the peak of Hunyuan celestial immortal. The tyrannical energy and blood rose into the sky, like a huge blood-red pillar, standing upright from the sky. The four arms were spread out, and with the support of the iron sword, giant shield, and spear, the ferocious killing aura overwhelmed all directions. The giant face covered with golden scales was full of ferociousness. There was endless joy in the explosive roar. The crystal-colored mirror light finally dimmed. Su Junming's face turned pale. The mana consumption is too great. Without the assistance of the Dayan divine mirror, it would be difficult for him to restore his Hunyuan. Although it took a lot of energy, looking at the soaring demon god, his eyes were full of joy. He had already used the same method to restore the strength of the Hunyuan celestial immortal to both the demon god of prosperity and Dong Huangtai. The power of the Dushan god and demon formation has reached a new level. It's a pity that my understanding of the way of time has just advanced to the realm of Hunyuan celestial immortal, otherwise it would be enough for them to completely return to their peak. Dong Huangtai and Liao Xiao were both powerful in the realm of Hunyuan true immortal at their peak. Especially Dong Huangtai, who has already reached the perfection of Hunyuan true immortal. Like Fuxi, he is only one step away from being beheaded and holding the corpse. Paired with the chaos clock. Except for saints and a few old monsters that survived from ancient times, almost no one in the entire prehistoric world was his opponent. Even with the blessing of the ancient demon court's Jotian star formation, coupled with the chaos bell, an artifact of heaven, the saint had to retreat. With a wave of his hand, 15 rays of light flew out from his danshan like lightning. The light skyrocketed, and including the previous demon god of production, 16 giant flags held up the sky, making a sound like thunder. 16 powerful demon gods exuded tyrannical pressure. The 12 ancestral witches, Dong Huangtai, Zilong, Fuxi, and Zai, were all the top powerful men in ancient times. Looking at them, Su Junming had a hint of intoxication in his eyes. As a powerful weapon refiner, the 16 Dushan god demon flags in front of him are his most proud works. The top materials, the top formations, the most powerful demon. Even after deducing the formation path to the realm of Hunyuan true immortal, Su Junming was qualified to make certain modifications to the 12 capital heavenly gods formation. After all, he knows the 12 avenues and is rich in knowledge. Looking around at the 16 divine flags, an impulse surged from the bottom of my heart. After taking a deep breath, he forced himself to hold it down. Although his cultivation has advanced to the late stage of Deluo Jinxian, the Dushan gods and demons formation has become even more powerful. He may not be able to resist the surging power of heaven and the impact of Pangu Enling. Licking the corners of his lips, the light in his eyes slowly dimmed. Powerful is really a fatal temptation. After pondering for a moment, he waved his hand and put away the 11 sacred flags. Only Zhurong, Liao Xiao, Gong Gong, Hutu, and Jamang are left. These 5 sacred flags correspond to the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. The 5 elements are the core of building heaven and earth, and are certainly the most critical element in spiritual practice. Su Junming took a breath and quickly formed seals with his hands. Powerful magic soared into the sky. Dushan gods and demons formation. The light of the 5 divine flags skyrocketed, and countless restrictions connected rapidly. Zhurong, Lingxiao, Gong Gong, Hutu, and Jamang turned into red, white, black, yellow, and green, and the 5 divine lights merged rapidly. Gradually, a figure that was billions of feet tall, with a majestic and vast aura, and an extremely powerful figure appeared. Although it is just an unclear shadow. But Su Junming still clearly sensed the surging power of heaven and earth rolling in. He was extremely intoxicated by the feeling of mastering infinite power and being able to easily create new worlds and sweep across the world invincibly. At the same time, the scattered fragments of Pangu Yuanling flew into the sea of consciousness, and discontinuous pictures emerged. Boom! An unimaginably powerful bronze axe fell in the air. The violent and thick chaos was instantly cut open. The light ones float up and become the sky, while the heavy ones sink and become the earth. Between heaven and earth, the infinite Tao manifests itself. As a cultivator, if you encounter this opportunity to face the Great Road, you will naturally not miss it. Directly activate the Dian Divine Mirror to start enlightenment. Lines of divine inscriptions emerge from the sea of consciousness, fly down to the Danshan, and blend into the major talismans. 12 majoring in the Great Way, and minoring in the Way of Destiny, are growing rapidly. That's all. The seal path that is only one step away from Hunyuan has been broken through. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth rolls, and endless golden flowers fall from the sky. It's a pity that this place is the Chongshan residence of Su Junming's Taoist temple. After being trained by him with 12 kinds of Taoist rituals and suppressed by many powerful spiritual treasures, the golden flower could not fly out at all, and it was even difficult to break through the restrictions in the quiet room. It's somewhat of a pity. After a long time, the golden flowers disappeared and Su Junming also woke up. It's not that he wants to wake up, but the Dushan god demon array composed of the 5 elements ancestral witches can only summon this fragment of Pangu Yuanling. If you continue, there will be no new gains. Of course, if he continues to add Dushan demon god, he will have more power of heaven and earth, and the Pangu Yuanling he summons will be stronger. But such power was beyond his control. Looking at Pangu's shadow standing in the quiet room, exuding an astonishing aura, he hesitated for a moment and shook his head. Too much is too little, leave it for later. As soon as the seal changed, Pangu's shadow instantly dissipated and transformed into the 5 demon gods again. He stretched out his hand and put away the remaining 5 sacred flags, then breathed out slowly. After comprehending the formation path to the realm of Hunyuan true immortal, he truly understood the essence of the 12 capital heavenly divine evil formation. Guided by Pangu's essence and blood, guided by the power of the formation, Pangu Yuanling gathers together, Pangu's true body condenses, and the power of heaven and earth is controlled to kill the enemy. According to the cultivation level of the 12 ancestral witches, with the help of the 12 capital heavenly gods and evil formation, the combined power, that is, Pangu's true body, can at most reach the perfection of Hunyuan Xianxian. It is equivalent to the state of killing 3 corpses. But if Pangu's true body controls the power of heaven and earth, it will be as powerful as the Hunyuan golden immortal, comparable to that of a saint. This is the real power of the 12 capital heavenly gods formation. After understanding the fundamentals of the formation, Su Junming combined his understanding of the formation and made certain modifications to the 12 capital gods formation. There is no need for 12 ancestral witches, as long as Pangu's descendants can use the formation to gather Pangu's Yuanling, achieve Pangu's true form, and form a large formation. After some optimization, it became the current Dushan gods and demons formation. Compared with the complicated Jotian Do formation of the monster clan, the 12 capital heavenly god Sha formation is rough and simple, but powerful, and is very suitable for the witch clan. This is also the reason why Su Junming can quickly understand and introduce new ideas. With a movement in his heart, a green lotus flower condensed out of nothingness. Raise your right hand with a dot between your eyebrows. A series of orchid-like musk deer, with dots of mist in the middle, flew out from between the eyebrows. These are the Pangu Yuanlings that he separated from his own sea of consciousness. The green lotus bloomed with light, and an invisible swallowing power spread out, quickly swallowing Pangu Yuanling. Visible to the naked eye, the light of the lotus is a bit stronger. Activate the magic power and drink it in your mouth. 5 Elements Seal. Buzz. In the invisible trembling, red, black, white, yellow, and green, 5 miraculous divine characters appeared. The powerful 5 elements Deo rhyme is entwined, which is the manifestation of the Deo, containing powerful original divine power. Next moment, the 5 sacred texts merge into the lotus like lightning. The 5-color brilliance bloomed and soon calmed down. It was already the blue lotus, but what was originally surging like a tide in the middle, like the stars in the universe, disappeared. Su Junming could clearly sense a sense of calm without having to go out of his way to realize it. Su Junming felt excited. The 5 elements seal is his natal magical power that he realized after breaking through the Hunyuan sealing path. After one try, all Pangu Yuanlings were sealed. With a movement in his heart, green lotuses emerged from the void one by one. There are nearly 100 before and after. Each blue lotus flower looks very similar. What was sealed in these green lotuses were the Pangu Yuanlings that he had attracted using the Dushan gods and demons formation. Go. Attracted by the spell, all the green lotuses flew towards the first one. They blend into each other and form a darker blue lotus. Feel it carefully, the seal is still strong. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. Now you don't have to worry about them running out again. Without the constraints of these Pangu Yuanlings, he would set up the Dushan gods and demons array, and what he would attract would be brand new Pangu Yuanlings. The memory contained in it may not be useful to him, but as long as he perseveres, he may still be able to get it, similar to the scene when Pangu opened the sky. This is definitely a rare and big gain. Looking at the green lotus floating in front of him, he saw that there were already many fragments of Pangu Yuanling inside, although it was only 1/10 of thousands of the Yuanling of Pangu, or even less. But it is also a large number. It's a pity that I never got the memory of cultivation. He also knew that this chance was very small, but if he kept collecting, he might gain something. With the right hand, the quiet room quickly shrank and returned to its original appearance. Quiet and thoughtful. It's time to go out for a walk. I have thought about this for the rest of my life, and I can no longer sit still. After putting away Chongshan residence, a space passage appeared in front of him as soon as he thought about it. With a step, it turned into a stream of light and flew into it. When he reappeared, he was already 30,000 miles away from Buzhu Mountain. After 30 million years of development, the number of humans in the Buzhu Mountain area has increased thousands of times. But the huge area equivalent to 30 trillion is still less than 1/10. But compared to the inaccessible situation 30 million years ago, it is much better. Continuous human towns have been established on the vast plains that are most suitable for survival. In addition, although Su Junming opened up a large lake and set up restrictions, it hindered the exchanges between the Buzhu Mountain people and the Donghuang people. But in the more than 30,000 years before he arranged these, many human tribes had entered Buzhu Mountain. Therefore, in addition to the 18 clans including the Chao clan, Feng clan, Bai clan, and Fang Feng clan who were rescued by him at the beginning, more than 200 tribes joined one after another. Some of the small tribes did not rise and were directly absorbed by the larger tribes. Some of them originally belonged to the same lineage as those big tribes, but the two sides merged directly after entering. After 30 million years, there were 108 human tribes in the entire Buzhu Mountain area. The earliest 18 parts, called the upper 18 parts, are the strongest. The remaining tribes are large and small, and their strength is uneven, but they are not too different. As for whether these tribes are at odds with each other and fighting with each other, Su Junming believes that they still dare not. His own 3,000 wishful bodies are distributed in the Buzhu Mountain main courtyard and the entire Buzhu Mountain area. With his ability, of course he would not be easily discovered. Therefore, whenever clans fight each other or there are grievances, there will always be a head-on attack from the Chongshan General Academy. As time passed, almost all the monks knew that the powerful and mysterious Master Saint possessed a powerful spell that could monitor the world. Under the huge deterrent, fewer and fewer people dare to break laws and disciplines. In the Buzhu Mountain area, apart from the occasional demon appearing and causing some chaos, there has been no major killing in the past 30 million years. True peace and tranquility, a paradise. This is also the reason why the population in the Buzhu Mountain area has increased dramatically, and it is also the reason why Chongshan Academy has a large number of powerful people. Looking at the stable situation he had worked hard to create along the way, Su Junming felt indescribable satisfaction and pride in his heart. It's finally worth my time to come here. After leaving the Buzhu Mountain area, which is 300 trillion miles away, the surrounding environment suddenly became wild. Tall and dense woods extend along the undulating land to the end of the world. This kind of endless dense forest, left over from ancient times to the present, is becoming increasingly rare in the Buzhu Mountain area. After shaking his head with a slight sigh, he urged the escape light to fly away into the distance. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1020. Is this Wan Kaiu? Looking at the huge hill in front of him, Su Junming, who spent hundreds of years traveling here, looked at it with interest. This is a large mound nearly 100 miles in diameter and nearly 1,000 feet high. Stone houses, large and small, start from the foot of the mountain and continue to extend upward along the mountain. At the top is a magnificent stone palace with a height of 100 feet and a length of about 300 feet, with reliefs and scrolls. Looking from a distance, it exudes a calm and heavy atmosphere, yet exuding grandeur and majesty. There is no doubt that this is the core of the Huaxu clan in Huankaiu. A ray of golden light flew out from the stone palace, as fast as a meteor, and came closer like lightning. A tall, middle-aged man wearing linen clothes and a majestic face walked out. It is none other than Fuxi, the current human princess of the eastern wilderness. Today's hexagram shows that a noble person is visiting. I was still wondering who the powerful person is here. It turns out to be fellow Taoist Chongshan. Welcome, welcome. I haven't seen him for 800 years, and the Holy Emperor as well. Su Junming smiled and held his hands. Since the last time he and Fu 11 parted ways in Buzhu Mountain, Su Junming had been practicing the production and collection of the sacred flags, and later practiced the Dushan gods and demons formation, which took a lot of time. Haha, thanks to Kongshan's generous help, our Donghuang people now plant a large amount of yellow rice. The hunger, thirst, and hardship have been greatly reduced, and the population has also grown rapidly. This is all due to the Taoist priest. Thank you, Fuxi. There is no need for the Holy Emperor to be polite. You and I are both human beings, so naturally we must seek development for the human race. What the Taoist master said is true. Please. Please. Under Fuxi's personal leadership, the two of them entered the main hall in the center of the mountain top. The tall plaque has 3 Chinese characters engraved on it. Longed Hall. Enter in stride. The spacious hall is supported by 12 tall stone pillars. There is a relief sculpture on the wall at the end, with a tall man standing on 36th grade green lotus, holding a long-handled giant axe, and with a vast aura. Su Junming, who had activated the Dushan gods and demons formation hundreds of times, recognized it at a glance. This was the great god Pangu. Because of their appearance, humans generally believe that they are also descendants of Pangu. Therefore, from the beginning to the present, human beings in every era generally worship the great god Pangu. There are many stone futons placed around the main hall. In this age without chairs, futons are an essential piece of hospitality. After looking around for a week, Su Junming smiled and said, "What a mysterious Hushan Dao. This is all thanks to fellow Taoists. The last time I discussed Taoism, it opened my eyes to something new and I gained a lot. Please. Please." After coming to the innermost futon and sitting down, as Fuxi waved his hand, 2 cups of spiritual tea appeared. This cup of spiritual tea can quench the thirst of fellow Taoists. After thanking him, Su Junming took it and took a sip. The hot tea fell into his stomach, and a refreshing fragrance melted away. His mind was clearer than ever before, and several difficult principles became clear instantly. My heart was so moved that I blurted out, "Xiantian Lingtia." In ancient times, my sister-in-law and I transformed into each other in Buzhu Mountain, and by chance we got an innate spiritual tea plant, Fuxi said with a smile. He thought that Su Junming had experienced ancient times and had already understood his intentions, so he did not hide his relationship with Nuwa. As for the Xiantian Ling tea, it is naturally precious. With the support of a saint, who dares to come and snatch it? Su Junming was very envious after hearing this. He has a few low-level Hushan Ling Cha, but he has never heard of Xiantian Ling Cha. These powerful powers that have taken form since ancient times have a profound foundation. Of course, envy is envy, and he himself is not bad either. Up to now, there are 5 kinds of top-quality innate spiritual roots: yellow plum, hollow willow, 10-grade green lotus, innate polygonum multiflorum and innate gourd vine. I'm afraid that in the entire prehistoric period, few saints did not have as many top spiritual roots as him. The Holy Emperor has deep opportunities, which is really enviable. Each top-grade innate spiritual root has its own unique function, and the function of innate spiritual tea is to assist in enlightenment. Fuxi smiled and waved, and a pottery vase flew in front of Su Junming. "Since fellow Taoist likes it, I will give these to fellow Taoist." He owed Su Junming a huge debt for collecting yellow rice from Chongshan, and he could repay it with this spiritual tea. Su Junming could more or less guess what Fu 11 was thinking, and he didn't refuse. Only when there is back and forth can the relationship last. "Then thank you, Holy Emperor. My fellow Taoist and I hit it off immediately, so there's no need to be polite." After the 2 drank a few cups of tea, seeing that the time was about the same, Fuxi asked, "My fellow Taoist is not here to receive blessings from Mount Buzhu, so why are you here at Huancaiyu?" "I have been very quiet and thoughtful. I have traveled all the way here. By the way, I also want to see how my disciples are doing here. Have they fulfilled their responsibilities? Have they slacked off in their practice? That's it. Fellow Taoist, don't worry. Fellow Taoists are good at teaching. Since a few young fellow Taoists came here, in the past 1,000 years, they have tried their best to train hundreds of thousands of qualified agricultural officers for the Eastern Wilderness human race. They have made great contributions and have never had such a great achievement. Slack off after a while. As for practice, if you work hard, you will naturally make great progress." To be praised so much by the Holy Emperor, they finally lived up to Pandao's instructions. Fuxi smiled and flicked his fingers. A flash of spiritual light flew out, and not long after, a tall, strong man wearing bronze half-armor with a powerful aura flew in. After landing, the dragon walked like a tiger and its aura was fierce. Like a bear, a liger, and a tiger, extremely domineering. He is full of strong energy and blood, as masculine as fire. Su Junming instantly felt an aura similar to his own from the other person's body. Martial arts god general. Moreover, he is also a martial arts god general who is in the middle level of god general level, which is very rare. Bear armor meets the Holy Emperor. No gift. Fellow Taoist, this is Xiangjia, the general of the Huaxu clan. I am a close friend of your Chongshan sect disciple, Northern Lingyun. Xiangjia looked at Su Junming instantly, with some surprise in his eyes. This person who can't feel any vitality in his body is actually the teacher of his best friend. He didn't know that Su Junming, who used the magical power of sealing to seal his own aura and used the magical power of space to isolate the inside and outside, even if the Hunyuan power was here, without a unique spiritual treasure, it would be difficult to see through his cultivation. As for the Northern Lingyun whom Fu 11 just mentioned, he is one of the few second-generation disciples of Chongshan Academy who practices martial arts and has achieved the level of a divine general. He also came to Wankai with Xuezhang Yang. Su Junming was not surprised to be able to become friends with the Xiangjia. Martial arts practitioners have strong qi and blood, most of them have upright tempers, and are sincere in their treatment of others. They can easily become friends with each other. My disciple is so lucky. Senior, I'm very grateful. Lingyun also helped me a lot in my martial arts practice. Su Junming smiled and nodded without saying more. Xiangjia, where is Xue Dianling now? Xue Dianling is Xuezhang Yang, one of the 7 great deacons of Chongshan, a middle-stage Deluo Jingxian. In order to better teach the Donghuang people to grow yellow rice, he was granted the title of Dianeng Order by Fuxi. An official position copied from Chongshan Academy. Xue Dianling should be in Luoshui at the moment. Excuse me, please go and call Xue Dianling back. Holy Emperor, after interrupting Fu 11, Su Junming said with a smile, everything is fine, I'll just go over. Take a look at the spiritual rice they cultivated. After a brief consideration, Fuxi nodded. Since fellow Taoist monks are so interested, let's go there together. The Holy Emperor is going too. Haha, everything in Wankai is on track now. If it's not a big deal, I don't need to step in. My fellow Taoist has come from afar and has shown great kindness to me, the Donghuang people. As it is both emotional and reasonable, I should accompany you well, fellow. Hearing this, Su Junming didn't say much. The two of them flew towards Luoshui. In the past few days, Kavinka's head has almost exploded. I have been revising and revising it, but I haven't written much. Please forgive me. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1021. Chapter 1001 Luoshui Fighting Technique, Part 1. Luoshui is located 3 million miles west of Wankai, which is not a very far distance for monks in the Deluo realm. Not long after, a river hundreds of thousands of miles wide appeared in front of us. This is Luoshui, a tributary of the Yellow River, the first river in the prehistoric world. There are broad plains on both sides of Luoshui, which is also the main living area of the Huaxu family. Occasionally, you can see villages with large and small stone houses where hedgehogs gather together. Not far ahead is the land under the jurisdiction of the Dianong order, which is specially used to cultivate yellow millet rice and teach the Dianong officials of various tribes how to grow yellow millet rice. Before he finished speaking, a loud thunderous sound came from far away, and the spiritual energy of the heaven and earth boiled for a long time. Someone is fighting. Fuxi and Su Junming looked at each other and sped up at the same time. The distance of tens of thousands of miles flew by in an instant. A battle of wits fell into view. One is a young man wearing a green robe, holding a green bamboo staff and a bronze bell on his head. One is a middle-aged man wearing a red robe, with a red beard and red hair, a face like a jujube, and a fishtail crown on his head. Even from a long distance, you can clearly sense the charm of the Taoism of fire emanating from him. Su Junming stopped. Fuxi also stopped subconsciously. fellow. Su Junming smiled. It's not too late to take a look first. He knew the young man in green robe. Gong Qingshan, the third among the 18th generation disciples of Chongshan to advance to the level of Deluo celestial being. In order to reward him, he personally gave him a top-quality Deluo spiritual treasure King Gluo bell that was modeled after the Donghuang bell. After looking at Su Junming and then at the fighting in the distance, Fuxi nodded and then stopped. He could guess what the other party was thinking, but as a member of the Human Emperor clan, the Chongshan disciples were the distinguished guests he invited to teach him about farming. Now, fighting here doesn't look like a sparring match. He had to figure out the reason, otherwise how could he explain it? He made a few seals with his left hand, flicked his fingers, and a flash of inspiration passed away. Su Junming saw it and didn't stop him. Now, the monk, who was covered in red and whose flames were extremely powerful, swung his body, and actually grew a body with 3 heads and 6 arms. 6 magic weapons appeared in the palm. A pair of red magic swords 3 feet long. A large fiery red seal of 2 dragons intersecting. A tall copper kettle with embossed fire and crow patterns. A magic lune engraved with flame cloud patterns and entwined with fire. A token with a height of 9 inches, a width of 3 inches, and a thickness of 1 and 3 inches, with divine inscriptions embossed on both sides. The Taoist shook the copper pot in his hand, and the sound of crows rose into the sky. The next moment, the overwhelming Binghuo crows flew over like lightning. He waved the token in his hand again, and countless rockets followed closely behind him like falling stars. The overwhelming fire crows and rockets, one is a sea fire, the other is a ding fire, one is hot, the other is cold, like 2 tumbling rivers, taking people's soul away. Seeing this scene, Su Junming felt inexplicably familiar. Looking at the 6 magic weapons again, I suddenly realized. It turned out to be him. Do you know this person, fellow Taoist? Fuxi asked. Why, the Holy Emperor doesn't recognize him. Shaked his head. Every once in a while, some disciples of the 3 sects, Chan and Ji, come down the mountain to help the human race in order to accumulate merit. I still know the direct disciples of the 3 sects, but there are too many outer sects and registered disciples. Except for a few, I don't know them. Do not know. There was a pause. From the tone of fellow Taoist, it sounds like you know this person. After Su Junming nodded. His name is Luo Xian, the Immortal in Flames. He is a disciple of the outer sect of Zhijiao. He is good at fire techniques and has good cultivation. Fuxi looked at it. De Luo Zhengxian's cultivation level is indeed quite good. At this time, the green-robed Taoist opposite raised his bamboo stick and brushed it. In an instant, a vast waterfall like green wood light directly hit him. Boom! A loud noise. It was like 2 big waves crashing together. The surging flames shot out in all directions. The disciples of fellow Taoist disciples are indeed extraordinary in strength. Generally speaking, it is difficult for a Qi practitioner who majors in King Mu Dao to defeat a monk who majors in Flame Dao, Fuxi said. Su Junming smiled. He never expected that his disciples would have a fight with Luo Xian's disciples in the earthly immortal realm. Now in this ancient world, his disciples faced Luo Xian again. Is it possible that Chongshan and Kowloon Island have different horoscopes? I shook my head in my mind. A small Kowloon Island is now out of his sight. Luo Xian's beard and hair were spread out, and he waved 5 magic weapons in his hand, the flying smoke sword, the 5 dragon wheels, the Wanli Union, the Zhaotian seal, and the 10,000 crows pot. In an instant, flames filled the sky, steam steamed, and hundreds of thousands of miles turned into a sea of fire. On the opposite side, Gongqingshan only relied on a green bamboo stick in his hand to brush down thousands of green wood divine lights. Even if the opponent's flames explode, it will be difficult to break through the blockade of this green bamboo staff. The 2 sides fought for a while. Luo Xian, if that's all you have, you'd better admit defeat. Staring at the arrogant pine-like back opposite, Luo Xian felt heavy in his heart. He originally thought that he majored in the way of flame and could restrain the opponent's Aoki way. Who would have thought that with all the means he could use, he would not be able to defeat the other party's green bamboo staff? No, I still have means. Although this is just a battle of wits, not a life and death battle, he doesn't want to lose. Each of the three heads opened its huge mouth. The one on the left spurted out a mouthful of red flames, and the scorching heat was suffocating. The head on the right spurts out a mouthful of dark red flames. It cannot feel the temperature, but it exudes a fierce power that burns everything. Finally there is the head in the middle. Raging bright white flames poured out. The three flames entangled each other and soon merged into a pale golden flame. This flame does not seem to be as bold as the crimson flame, nor as sinister as the dark red flame. It burns calmly, but it reveals an endless ferocious power that burns the sky and boils the sea. The three flavors are really hot. As soon as the mana was activated, the originally calm pale golden flame instantly turned into a huge sea of fire. Luo Xian looked confident. These three true fires are his natal magical powers that he realized after he advanced to Deluo. They are immortal when exposed to water and unsinkable when exposed to earth, and are infinitely powerful. Unless you have the top treasure, don't even think about escaping. Staring at the speeding fire, Gong Qingshan looked solemn. Throwing the green bamboo stick in his hand, it instantly turned into a green bamboo, and the rich aura of green wood spread out. 1 plant, 2 plants, 10 plants. Endless green bamboos grew out of the void. The empty sky turned into a sea of bamboo in the blink of an eye. At the same time, a black flower grew on the top of all the green bamboos. The dense aura of orchids and musk deer flew out from the black flowers. Green bamboo Dharma realm. This is the natal magical power that Gong Qingshan realized after he advanced to Deluo. But see you. Luo Xian's three-flavored true fire was quickly supported by black spiritual energy. No matter how powerful the real fire was, it was still unable to ignite those black auras. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1022. The Meaning of Life and Death. It's really amazing. At this age, you can understand life, death, and glory from the King Mu Tao Fu 11 praised. Su Junming smiled slightly. He remembered that after Gong Qingshan advanced to Deluo, he had given him a jade slip on the way of life, death, and prosperity. Looking at it now, he understood it very well. However, their cultivation levels are quite different, and their understanding of the Great Road is almost the same. If they want to win with their own magical powers, they are still a little behind. Boom! The earth-shattering bell interrupted Su Junming's thoughts. Magnificent sound waves, like a huge wave, surged out from the bronze bell above Gongqing Mountain. Luo Xian, who had been using Samadhi True Fire to confront Gongqingshan's natal magical power, was prepared, but still underestimated the power of the bell. When the mana touched it, it instantly became obscured and solidified, and then a huge force rolled over it. Luo Xian felt as if he had been hit by a crazy giant dragon and flew backwards for tens of thousands of feet before he finally stabilized his body. My heart felt heavy. Wow! A mouthful of reverse blood spurted out, and the magic power in his body instantly dispersed. Looking at the imposing giant bell in mid-air, Luo Xian's expression changed. Although he was unwilling to give in, he knew that he was no match as he tried his best. He snorted coldly and flew downwards. Gong Qingshan breathed a sigh of relief, collected the treasure, and fell into the air. Fuxi frowned slightly and looked at the disappearing clock. Fellow Taoist, this clock is quite extraordinary. Su Junming glanced at him. He understood Fuxi's thoughts. By chance, I got a piece of the Donghuang bell refined by Donghuang Tai. After understanding the prohibitions, I made some and distributed them to my disciples. The one I just took was one of them. Fuxi understood. As the Zhuang of the demon clan, he certainly knew about Donghuang Tai refining the Donghuang bell for Wangshu and his daughter. I see, it's a good opportunity for fellow Taoists to arrive. The conversation changed. I didn't expect that fellow Taoist weapon refining methods are so superb. In today's ancient world, the only people who can refine the top-grade Great Luo Lingbao, except for a few saints, are no more than one palm. Fellow Taoist, this is a wonderful compliment. At this moment, a ray of light came as fast as lightning and quickly approached the two of them. A big man wearing grey linen clothes and carrying a simple magic sword on his back walked out of the escape light. He glanced at Su Junming and bowed to salute. Xueyu pays homage to the Holy Emperor. Fuxi nodded and said, "Come here to pay homage to true Lord Chongshan." True Lord Chongshan. Xueyu was shocked and subconsciously looked at the green-robed Taoist on one side. It looks ordinary, and you can't feel the slightest mana or momentum, but the more it looks like this, the more extraordinary it becomes. He is the great Luo true immortal, and being able to hide his spiritual consciousness shows how high his cultivation level is. I have met true monarch Chongshan. No need to be polite. Su Junming smiled and nodded. Xueyu, let me ask you. What happened just now? I remember telling you to maintain considerable respect for the guests from Chongshan, Fuxi said in a deep voice. Xueyu said in a panic. Your Majesty, I have always followed your orders. However, the Qi refiners of the Ji sect are jealous that the distinguished guests from the high mountains can enjoy the merits without having to take risks to eliminate demons or go through the pain of traveling, so they often make rude remarks. In the past, when there were direct disciples of Ji Qiao, they could still maintain restraint and barely maintain the superficial harmony between the two parties. But a few days ago, after the Holy Mother Guiling was summoned away by the sage of Shangqing, Zhao Gongming, who was left behind, was only an outer disciple and did not have enough prestige. And he seems to be conniving. Just before, the two sides started fighting over a quarrel. It was agreed. What's the agreement? Fuxi said angrily. Xueyu's heart trembled, and he gritted his teeth and said, the party who loses in the fight will agree to leave Huancaiyu. Asshole. The matter of Dianeng is related to the future of our human race, why don't you stop it? The Holy Emperor Rongzhen, I did stop him, but the two sides are determined to fight, and my cultivation is low, so I really can't stop him. Why don't you repay me immediately? It happened suddenly. Before I could come, you and true Lord Chongshan came. Fuxi snorted coldly and turned his head. Fellow Taoist, it was my mistake. But don't worry, regardless of the success or failure of this battle, Chongshan disciples will never leave Huancaiyu. Before he finished speaking, two rays of light shot up into the sky. One is wearing a navy blue robe, with a red cord hanging on his waist, and has a tall and thin figure. The other one was wearing a dark gray robe, slightly fat, with a mitre on his head, a leopard head and tiger eyes, and a majestic face. The two men have powerful magic powers, which are obviously much stronger than Luo Xian and Gong Qingshan just now. Holy Emperor, is that Zhijiao disciple Zhao Gongming? Su Junming asked. Although there are many disciples of Ji Qiao, those who have the cultivation level of Deluo Jingxian are the four major disciples, the attendant seven immortals, and a few outer disciples such as Zhao Gongming and Sang Xiao. Xueyu just said that the Holy Mother of Ghost Spirits is not here and the leader of the Zhijiao disciples is Zhao Gongming, so it is not difficult to guess the identity of the other party. Exactly. In the past few times we met, this person seemed to be very stable. Unexpectedly, he was also a frivolous and manic person, Fu 11 said angrily. Su Junming smiled lightly and didn't say much. Staring at Zhao Gongming in the distance, De Luo Jingxian's initial cultivation level was a bit weaker than Xuezhanjiang's. I wonder if he has got the Dingai Divine Pearl now. If he has already got it, Xuezhanjiang will definitely lose this battle. In the Battle of the Gods, Zhao Gongming used his cultivation in the realm of De Luo Golden Immortal to activate the Dingai Divine Pearl and beat Taoist Ran Deng so hard that he ran away. The 12 Golden Immortals were helpless, which shows the tyranny of this treasure. When he activated the Dian Mirror, he saw that in Zhao Gongming's Danshan, the powerful treasure energy shot straight into the sky. The 24 pearls are like 24 huge worlds, filled with rich innate water aura. 45 innate spiritual restraints are enough to rival the 5 directions flags. No wonder it is so powerful. I sighed in my heart. Make a seal. Stop. The mighty sound waves vibrated for millions of miles. Zhao Gongming and Xuezhanjiang, who were just about to take action, quickly stopped. Fuxi's heart moved and he glanced at Su Junming subconsciously. The latter had already activated the escape light and flew forward like lightning. Seeing it in his eyes, he quickly followed. At this time, the disciples from both sides who were watching the battle below also quickly flew up. 20 or 30 Chongshan disciples saw Su Junming and hurriedly came forward to pay their respects. See teacher Sheng Xiao. Almost all the disciples of Chongshan inner sect have heard Su Junming preach, so they are all called teacher. Without courtesy, I'm going to see the Holy Emperor. I'll wait to see the Holy Emperor. Haha, your hard work has paid off, so you don't need to be polite. Next to him, nearly 100 chi refiners wearing Taoist robes, with strange shapes and most of them carrying strong evil aura, examined Su Junming. This teacher, who was highly respected among all Chongshan disciples, made them particularly curious. Xuezhanjiang flew over quickly. Teacher! Get up! After waving his hand to signal him not to say anything, Su Junming turned his head. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1023. Chapter 1003 Zhao Gongming, Dingai Divine Pearl. Holy Emperor, I, a disciple of Chongshan, have been coming down from the mountain to teach the people of the eastern wilderness the cultivation methods for thousands of years. Everything that needs to be taught has been taught, and it is time to leave. Fuxi's face changed slightly. Why do fellow Taoists say this? The Donghuang human race has just started planting yellow rice. There are many problems in the process. I can't leave Chongshan disciples for a moment. How can I leave now? If it's because of the fight just now, it's just a misunderstanding. As soon as these words were spoken, the eyes of the disciples of the Ji sect looked at the disciples of Chongshan, and their hostility became even more intense. It was obvious that in Fuxi's heart, the status of Chongshan disciples was clearly above them. How can I bear this? They are Zhejiao with the support of saints behind them. Although Zhejiao has just risen now, it is still far away from the peak of Wangxian Lai dynasty. But this does not prevent them from looking down on other Qigong practitioners and sects. Su Junming shook his head. It has nothing to do with fighting. Planting yellow rice is not complicated. The planting methods taught to the Eastern Barren people over the past 1,000 years are all we in Chongshan know. If problems arise again, even we will not be able to solve them. The reason why Huangliangling rice is widely popular in Chongshan is because it has strong disease resistance and simple planting methods, even ordinary farmers can take care of it. Of course, the seeds of Huangliangling need to be continuously cultivated. If there are no good seeds, the yield will be halved after 3 generations. But even if it is reduced by half, it is still a revolutionary change for the Donghuang people. Only with stable food can we get rid of the ignorance of the tribal era and transition to the feudal era. Fellow Taoist, do you want to leave with my regards? Fuxi said. I, Chongshan, have accomplished what the Holy Emperor asked me to do that day, so naturally it's time to leave. After saying that, he gave a bow. Do you have anything to pack? If so, I will give you a moment to burn incense. If not, you will have to return to the sect this time. All the disciples shook their heads. All disciples who advance to the Deluo level will have a portable cave heaven given by Su Junming. The precious things are all placed inside, and the rest are just common things. If they are lost, they will be lost. Zhijiao disciple Zhao Gongming, please see your senior. A rich voice interrupted. It can be heard that although the words are respectful, there is not much respect in the tone. Su Junming turned his head. That deep gaze, which seemed to be able to see through the soul, made Zhao Gongming's heart tremble. Do you subconsciously feel that your decision is a bit rash? But the arrow was already dazzling, and in full view of everyone, he couldn't help but regret it. What's the matter with you? I have been practicing cultivation for many years, and I have encountered some obstacles recently. I would like to ask my senior for advice. Zhao Gongming, you are so brave. If you want to fight, I will accompany you. After waving his hand to interrupt Xuezhanjiang's words, Su Junming smiled. I have always respected the Supreme Saint, but I have been practicing in seclusion for many years and have never had the opportunity to meet him. You are his disciple, and there is no room for my guidance. But since you asked for advice, I can't refuse. As soon as he finished speaking, his body rose into the sky and soared 1,000,000 miles away. Come on, let me see what you're capable of. Zhao Gongming urged the escaping light to rise into the sky, facing Su Junming from a distance of 100,000 feet. Master, let me teach this guy a lesson. He is so ignorant, Xuezhanjiang said in a message. No need. I haven't made a move for many years, so I'm going to relax my muscles and bones. You can just wait and watch the battle. Xuezhanjiang had no choice but to take the Chongshan disciples and stand on the outside to watch the battle. Fuxi and Shui Yu stood on the outside, watching the two sides who were about to fight with interest. Take a deep breath. Zhao Gongming stared at the young man opposite him, 100,000 feet away, with a calm aura and no trace of cultivation. In the past 1,000 years, Chongshan disciples including Xuezhanjiang were in Wanqiu together and got to know each other quite well. He was greatly shocked by the dozens of Chongshan disciples, their profound knowledge, self-discipline in practice, harmonious relationship with each other, and approachable attitude towards ordinary people. In contrast, the Zhijiao disciples who came with him knew nothing about self-cultivation except cultivation. They were bloodthirsty and had a violent temper. Towards human races, even those who have become immortals, they will always have a condescending attitude as disciples of a great religion. What's more, some even secretly kill human beings to collect their souls. Comparing the two, the disciples of Chongshan are more like direct descendants of the big sect, while the disciples of Zhijiao are more like loose cultivators in the mountains and have no knowledge of education. Although he wanted to coexist peacefully with Chongshan, the grievances between the Zhijiao disciples and them became deeper and deeper, pushing him to the opposite side. Now he asked for advice, not because of his original intention, but because he had to do it. Senior, Junior is about to take action. Su Junming said calmly, just let it go. Excuse me. Opening his right palm, 24 aqua blue pearls appeared in the palm. The name of this bead is the Dingai Divine Bead. It was a companion treasure when he was reincarnated. It contains the ultimate path of water movement and is a top quality innate spiritual treasure restricted by the 45 paths. Precisely because of the existence of this Dingai Divine Pearl, he was able to make rapid progress and advance to the Deluo realm at the end of ancient times. Now he has become the great Luo Jingxian. The only pity is that since the separation of the Sanking family, the mentor Shangqing Saint has stopped accepting disciples. Therefore, he and his 3 sworn sisters are now just outsiders. Although, because of his extremely high level of cultivation and the accompanying of important treasures, he has a very high status among the outer disciples. But no matter how high he is only an outer disciple. There is no direct lineage from the Shangqing dynasty, and he is not blessed by the luck of the sect. Su Junming thought that the Dingai divine pearl was given by the sage of the Shangqing dynasty. In fact, like Yongxiao's Hunyuan golden doe and Bixiao's golden dragon scissors, it was a companion spiritual treasure. Otherwise, there is no reason why such a powerful innate spiritual treasure should not be given to the direct disciples but to the outer disciples. Knowing that true Lord Chongshan was extremely powerful, Zhao Gongming directly poured 70% of his mana into the Dingai divine bead. In an instant, 24 aqua blue divine beads as big as mountains surrounded Zhao Gongming. The powerful water spirit is as vast as the tide. The sound of the rolling waves was earth-shattering. The astonishing momentum and powerful power made everyone around them change their expressions instantly. Shuezhangyang, in particular, thought that with his higher level of cultivation and the Hunyuan supreme treasure given by his mentor, even if Zhao Gongming was a disciple of Ji Xiao, he would at least be able to fight to a draw. But now that I look at it, I realize how wrong I was. Looking at the power of the beads, even if he tried his best, he couldn't stop it. Could it be that my mentor prevented me from fighting each other because he knew I was invincible? Shua. A dazzling blue aura interrupted his thoughts. The 24 beads, like the 24 great suns, were struck directly towards Su Junming with shocking power under Zhao Gongming's urging. In an instant, Kuishui's aura surged. The tyrannical power even shook the surrounding space. Su Junming stood with his hands behind his back, looking calm. It is rumored that the 24 Dingai divine pearls are 24 water-moving worlds. Looking at it now, it is indeed the case. However, like the sunflower water divine light in the Dragon Emperor's Great Five Elements divine light, it is a pure world of water. But it is different from Dragon Emperor Kuishui divine light. The 24 Dingai divine beads, each bead has the size of the world, equivalent to an earthly immortal world. If such a huge amount of true water hits, unless it is a Hunyuan true immortal, it will not be able to stop it. Fortunately, Su Junming is not a Randan Taoist. Point your finger. A divine light expanded rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, a magnificent divine gate appeared in the sky. The whole body of this divine gate is made of thick blue stone. It looks simple and unsophisticated. There are only 4 mysterious divine inscriptions embossed on the front, back and left of the 2 stone gates. Suddenly, a divine inscription on the right side in front of the stone gate shone brightly, and a powerful spatial rhyme spread out. The Dingai divine pearl, which was capable of destroying mountains and mountains, was taken in by Shenman in front of everyone's astonished eyes. Zhao Gongming frowned. He had not lost control of the Dingai divine pearl. After all, it was his companion's spiritual treasure, which was far closer than ordinary spiritual treasures. But after the attack failed, the instinct was to take the treasure back.